Welcome, everyone, to the Ted and Teach Show. I'm Ted.
I'm Teach.
And we're a local MMA podcast for North Dakota fighters. And we're going to be talking to you tonight about Legacy 51 Fighting Championship in Hinckley, Minnesota, February 5th.
The fighter we're going to mainly focus on is Fargo, North Dakota. Fargo, North Dakota's
fighter.
Jos Eichelberger. He's fighting Clarence Jordan from Iowa. Jos is 17-9, and Clarence is 7-2.
Yep.
Tapology has Jos has ranked number 7 in South and North Dakota, and I believe Clarence Jordan is ranked 10. So,
yeah, we were looking at those numbers earlier. They're pretty close. They're both up there.
Yeah.
Those are good numbers for both those fighters. So, with that said, we're gonna try to go ahead and pick apart, what we think would be the best advantage for Clarence and what would be the best advantage for Jos, and try to give our best take on what we think would be a good matchup, whether they're watching or not.
Yeah.
So
we'll start out with Jos. Jos is straight up all around. He seems to have a well-rounded game going on right now.
Yeah, we were watching that. Just so everyone knows, he is the current PFC champion, and we were watching tapes just a couple of days ago on how much improvement, and then looking back at some of the losses that he did have. Last loss was like 2 years ago, Teach?
Yeah.
2 years ago. So I mean that's a
too.
long time. But since then, we noticed, wow,
Yeah, I noticed in the past with Jos's loss, he did a lot of just standing in front of his guy and trying to bang with him, and then the guy would just suck him to the ground.
Or how he would come out of the gate just fast, and he would just attack.
Yeah.
When we were watching that the PFC fight he had with Lloyd Woodward, he was very patient. He kind of just took his time, and
it looks like he's growing up really well as a fighter.
Oh yeah, I mean
he's growing into himself.
Even when we were watching, Lloyd took him down one time, but just keep trying to take the two times that I saw Lloyd do that single leg right away. Joe stuffed him, and when he does get down on the ground, he does get right back up. It's hard to keep him down.
And now anymore these days, he's very explosive when he comes in to do strikes, and sometimes he overcommits, but it seems like it's not a problem for him because he's, even if he gets taken to the ground, he gets right back on his feet right away.
Yeah, and we got highlights to show you guys too what we're talking about. Just the highlight reels that we do have. We have with Lloyd Woodward, and we do have with the title defense that he did do against
Josh Cavan.
Yep, that was a good fight too. I mean, I liked that one a lot. Just the highlights that we have from that one was pretty damn good.
Clarence with him though, seems like he's on a struggle right now. He took a loss to Dane Sayers back in January, and then in June he squeaked out a draw with Danny White.
Yeah, Danny White. He does look like he does have some knowledge of the ground. He looks like he's got great shape, good cardio. But just not a whole lot of I didn't see any power or just something phenomenal. Like
he's got a little power because when he was fighting Dane, he swelled up Dane's eye pretty good.
Did he?
So,
Was he just working the jab, or was he just?
Yeah, it was more counter striking. He was doing really well at counter striking.
From what I saw him with Dane's fight, I didn't really see either he was just afraid to kind of get in there and get popped with Dane, or just, being cautious.
From what I hear, Dane hits like a Mack truck.
Yep,
so.
we've heard that one too. So maybe he was scared.
Actually, the person that said it is Jos when we had him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to say, yeah, so maybe he was a little timid and stuff. But, I mean, still, the record speaks for itself. He's 7-2, so unless something changes dramatically, we can't say much about his style right now other than what would be a good or a bad.
Striking wise, he hasn't TKO'd anybody.
But he's done submission work. He's gotten
submission work. Yep.
The 4 wins of submission, and
then he pulled out some decision wins.
Yep.
So in this fight, it's Jos definitely has the advantage of this fight. the bigger guy, moves really well on his feet, and he's got a lot of power.
Oh yeah, Teach, that we've seen in these fights that he's, the title defense and the title fight.
Yeah.
Title fight.
Now, this is going to be a tough one for Clarence to come in because, it shows in his record right now in his past. I mean, he was on a 4-fight win streak and then runs into Dane, loses, but he survived the whole fight. He didn't get knocked out or anything, so he showed his toughness there. But then he fought a guy like Danny White where, you survive with Dane, you should be beating Danny White, Yeah. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. Yeah. And now he's going to have a tough opponent in Jos, The guy's he's turning into a beast these days.
Well, I did look at the numbers, and Clarence, he's got the reach. He is 6 foot, great shape. I mean, he 170 is what they have him listed on SureDog, and then we know Jos is 5'11". Comes in a little. I mean, he's a little bit bigger guy. 182 is what SureDog had him at too. So he probably just gets down, like he said the last time on the show, gets down when he's comfortable too.
Clarence, he looks like he needs to go down a weight class. I mean, everybody, they're cutting weight really well and coming in much heavier than him. So we'll see what happens with Jos. Jos is a big guy now, and when he cuts down to 170, don't know what to say besides watch out for his hands, man.
Yep. Looking at that fight that we were talking about, Teach, in the Lloyd one, I told you how I thought maybe Lloyd was kind of showing everyone like, man, if you want to put the pressure on, you're going to have to Jos if you want to have any kind of advantage, because even after that first round, I thought Jos looked a little tired. He put his hand up on his hip. It looked like he was.
I think I seen the same thing with actually both of his fights. He did look like he was starting to slow down out in Williston fighting Lloyd. I saw the same thing that you did.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking because Lloyd he kept going for, he tried a couple of times even though Joe stuffed him, and he did succeed in that one takedown. But that I thought, like, man, if you want to try to beat the beast, maybe you should keep attacking him.
Yeah, keep trying to get that takedown. And that's what I think Clarence is. That's probably what his game plan is going to be with Jos.
Yeah, is
really push the cardio, the wrestling cardio.
Yeah, if he gets in there and stuff. Like I told you, that fight with Dane, he didn't look like he wanted to get in there. And, yeah, maybe he felt something. But, I mean, just the way I saw him, he was dancing around. He kept trying to, maybe he thought he was going to tire.
Yeah, he was showing really good counter-striking. So, I mean, that's actually the perfect way to fight Jos, because Jos is so aggressive.
Yeah, and he did move around a lot. I think, he was just trying to get better angles. Or he was trying to get in there. After a while, it looked like Dane was just trying to, show his, he was tough, because he looked kind of unorthodox when he's throwing some wild.
That was, that you got to remember Dane had been, it was cage rust for him going into that fight.
Yeah.
So, if Dane would have had a few fights going into that, getting the cage rust off beforehand, I think that it wouldn't have even went 3 rounds.
Looking back at some of the stuff that you were telling me to look for in old losses, it did look like before Jos had trouble with the ground game. He lost with submissions, so he picked that up, part of his game.
Oh yeah,
got that better, and now it's looking like he's moving ahead to.
Yeah, it looks like even like his fight with Josh Kavan. Josh Kavan he's more of a ground fighter than a stand-up striker, and he had a hard time keeping Jos on the ground.
Yeah, I saw that too, Teach. That was an awesome fight. I like that one. I was joking around when I told you in that right before he knocked him out, looks like he's playing rope-a-dope. Yeah. Because he's kind of like staggering there a little bit, but
I'm pretty sure that was the Denver altitude. He just wasn't quite ready for it, and the whole body was starting to fatigue.
I know, I heard that too. It just looked funny because I thought, oh shit, he's doing rope-a-dope, and then to all of a sudden he gets him with that uppercut.
Yep. It was a
hook?
Very good.
Was it a hook or an uppercut?
A little in between, I think. That's what it kind of looked like to me.
It popped him good though.
It definitely worked out for him.
Yeah.
And then you just saw all of a sudden he had the explosive energy right after that.
Yep.
You know, once he sees the guy down, hurt, Jos is, oh man, he picks it up.
Yeah, you said that he always has that killer instinct. When he sees it, he goes after it. Man, that was a vicious.
He's had that his whole career.
That vicious punch he did on Lloyd when Lloyd was, on the ground. He got him good with that head pop back. I was like, damn. Yeah,
you'll see this in our highlight reels that we got for you.
And nothing, I'm not knocking Clarence's. I didn't see too many, but like I said, I mean, if you're going to be, your ground and pound, if you're going to be a jiu-jitsu specialist, or you can put something. Yeah,
you gotta add striking once you get him down there. And you could see when he got Dane down in his last fight there, or his second to the last fight with Dane. Once he got into wrestling mode, that's all he did.
Yep.
He didn't start striking and do anything. He just started trying to wrestle with Dane.
And to have a draw with Danny, I was like...
Yeah, that surprises me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Danny's tough. Don't get us wrong. He's a tough fighter. He's not the smoothest on his feet. He doesn't move around real well on his feet. But he is a tough guy, and he hits hard.
Yep. So he must have did everything. He was fighting just as tough as Clarence was for that fight. So it showed. Clarence did have a 5-fight win streak going on before he lost to Dane and that draw. So hopefully he's probably thinking this is going to jumpstart him. I mean, if he gets the win, if he gets the loss, which,
some people, they have a hard time after taking a loss to get back on track again.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it looks like. He's struggling to get back on track.
What a challenge. What a challenge to put in front of you after coming off of, the loss, the draw.
And I believe Jos is on something like a 6-fight win streak right now.
Yep.
So, that's tough coming off of a loss, a draw, and then go fight a guy that's got a 6-fight win streak going on.
Yeah. That was going to be crazy. We did talk about UFC veteran. You said would be fighting there for the last time.
Yeah, Brock Larson will be fighting his last fight. He's going into retirement after this one here.
Yeah, so on this card, you're going to see a lot of names that you might not know, but a couple that we do.
Yep. We got Kuchlong fighting. And there I believe he's from South Dakota. That's why we're not really highlighting him, but he has fought in North Dakota a few times.
Yep.
But we got some highlights for you. We're gonna start out with Jos Eichelberger's highlights, just so you can see how well Jos moves. It's awesome. He's improved so much throughout the years. This one here is out in Williston when he won. They were fighting for the belt. 170-pound belt for Prize Fighting Championship. You can see how quick he explodes in there.
And Jos, for you guys that don't know, is in the red trunks and Lloyd's in the blue.
Yep. Good call, Ted.
We were talking about how right here you see Lloyd. He tries to get him. Tries to
muscle with him.
Yeah.
Jos is strong, man. He's cutting a lot of weight to get down there. So if these guys aren't cutting the same weight, they're going to struggle with his strength.
Yeah.
And here it's the same thing, just kind of showing you how smooth and confident Jos is. And if you get him back against the cage, man, you better watch out.
Yeah.
He's going to swing on you to try knocking you out.
Here's the takedown that we were talking about earlier, Teach. He does get Jos down here, going down for the single leg. And
you'll see right here, Lloyd gets the takedown. It's a pretty nice takedown.
Yep.
A lot of muscle though. And then you'll see Jos will sweep him. Right about here.
Just grabbed his leg and then he kind of pulls him around and puts him down on his back. Yeah, that was, like I told you, Teach, that was the only, part that I saw Lloyd do.
And here comes the knockout. Boom, boom, and down. And and this is where we talk about how once he gets you down, he explodes on you.
Yep. he doesn't give you a chance to breathe, and he just knows already that you're ready to go home.
He has great top balance. Once he gets you down, it's hard to get him off.
Here comes that
and
punch.
He's always ready to.
Damn.
He's always looking for that finish, man. You gotta love it.
At what point did the refs say? Damn those refs.
I think he was just watching the show.
Yep. After a while, he's like,
I thought he was gonna start cheering him on for a minute.
Had enough.
But this is his title defense out in Denver, Colorado. You can see he's starting to add in leg kicks.
He's just right here. He's just going at him too.
And Josh Cavan was definitely a worthy opponent.
Yep.
Because the first round, Josh Cavan really brought it to Jos.
It looks like he puts a lot of pressure on him.
Yep. It was nonstop action. You could just see how comfortable Jos is. I mean,
yeah, he doesn't even look
just
like
relaxed. Not in a big hurry. Being more technical than a brawler. In the past he brawled a lot.
Good leg kick.
Yeah, it was good head kick there. You don't usually see that from Jos. That's a good add to his game. And here you can see once he's pressured, man, he's swinging at you to put you down.
Yeah.
And you can see his toughness too.
Yeah, he took a good combo.
Few heavy hits by Cavan there.
Right here, Cavan's doing a good job too of taking him down on the ground, keeping him there as long as he could.
Yeah, and then this was Cavan's world right here, and he struggled keeping Jos down.
Yep. He was trying to work his way up, but Jos worked up.
Yep. And used the cage, got himself back up on his feet. And you'll see here too, how tough Jos is. I mean, he gets a couple heavy ones right on the face, right on the chin, and he took it. Bam, bam. Yeah.
That's his sign. Yeah. You hear we're coming up on the knockout now?
Yep. You can see he's tired. I mean, he's mile high. I think he spent 2 or 3 days there or something.
Right there, TJ. Look, he's just
before the fight.
He's getting wobbly, and then
boom, put it on the chin. And then he just suddenly gets a burst of energy. And there it is.
Yeah.
As you can see, I mean, Jos at another level now in his fighting. I mean, I remember back in the day, Jos mainly relied on when the ref said, fight. He just exploded across the cage and started swinging, trying to overwhelm him.
Yep.
And as you can see his maturity in his fighting now.
Yep. Now he's just being patient, picking you apart, trying to see what he's gonna want to finish you off with.
Yep. These next highlights are for Clarence Jordan, so you can compare the two fighters and see what you think, and how these two are going to compare and how this fight's going to end up. I mean, Jordan doesn't move too bad. He's pretty smooth. He uses more of a standard boxing stance. Leaning forward, tucking the chin, making his back round. But technically, he's just not quite there in it with his hands.
Yeah. Oh, it was pretty wild. They almost got him.
And he's very quick to stop the takedown. But as you can see, he's pretty smooth on his feet. He keeps moving.
Yeah, he keeps moving.
One thing is he doesn't want to stand with Jos like this at all.
No.
It's going to be a losing battle for him.
Yeah, so maybe he moves around a lot. He's thinking, I get pick my shots in.
And Jos is twice as explosive as this guy that Clarence is fighting right now. Clarence is in the that dude right there.
I think he was in the blue trunks. Or like a dark.
Unfortunately, I'm a colorblind, so
here's the highlights that we have with Dane, and Dane's in the white.
Yeah, this is from back in January 2015.
Here's where it is telling you, Chichi doesn't really commit. He just kind of moves around. He he's okay with Dane hunting him down. Dane gives him a bunch of good shots.
Yeah, see, with this highlight, I cut this one to show that Clarence can take a punch.
Yeah, he did take it.
I mean, he didn't really get out of there very quickly, but he did. He can take a punch and survive a fight. So that's one thing that we talked about earlier is Jos's fights really haven't went past the second round.
Yep.
I think he has a couple of them. That's it. And that was early in his career.
So, like Clarence, like we said, I mean, if he wants to get in there, he's gonna have to take a couple of these shots and maybe keep trying to wear down Jos.
What I like to say, what I just saw right there, is the fact that when it's not just his hands, he's trying to put his hands and feet together.
Mm-hmm. Get something, both combos going.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he uses more of a boxing style on his stand-up. He has really good head movement, so he's not taking a lot of shots. And he does counter-strike really well. And he does pretty good with using clinch and separating from clinch and striking.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great matchup for Jos, really.
You think Clarence will be able to put some pressure on him?
It's tough because Jos is so explosive. If this guy isn't ready for how explosive he is, how explosive Jos is, he's going to be in some serious trouble really fast, early.
Clarence has had 8 months to prepare,
Well, it was 6 months.
Yep.
Or so it'd be February. Yeah, 8 months. There you go.
8 months. So hopefully he's prepared.
Hopefully he sees, because Jos and Dane used to train together. I'm not sure if Dane still trains in the same place or not. So Clarence, should be looking to see,
Well, he went all rounds with Dane.
Yeah.
Even though he lost, so we know he can stand there and.
Yeah, he took some full-on shots from Dane and kept going. And most of this is really showing how tough Clarence is, and that he's not going to be an easy out.
Yeah.
And if he can push Jos into the third round, I think that's where he's going to have a little bit more advantage.
Yeah.
But even then,
if he keeps pressure,
I'm not sure if he'd have that much advantage anyhow.
If he keeps some pressure, yeah. Well, I don't know, Teach. What else can we say other than we think it's going to be a great matchup? But who are you taking?
Well, of course I'll take Jos.
Yeah.
My prediction for this fight, I'm saying Jos is going to finish him in the first round.
I'm going to say second, just because maybe they'll fill each other out. Maybe Jos will see what he's going to bring to the table. Obviously, they're watching the same whatever highlight reels that we're watching. Seeing the same things that we've talked about. If Clarence doesn't attack, if he just kind of dances around and tries
I think Clarence would be better off counter striking with against Jos, because if he gets too aggressive with Jos is gonna knock him out.
Yep. And I was saying like how he moves around and he's just gonna kind of try to pick his spots and
from what I saw on that highlight video with Clarence, is he does really well circling, and Jos, his explosiveness is really straight ahead. So, I mean, it's a good yin and yang matchup right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say second round.
I just don't think Clarence has the power to even knock Jos out. So.
That's what I was telling you last time. I didn't see anything that in the fights where he maybe staggered the guy or
He didn't stagger Dane at all.
No.
I mean, he did land some good heavy shots on him. It backed Dane off throughout that fight.
Yeah, it made him rethink his approach.
But it wasn't nothing that was actually hurting Dane in any way.
And
as you can see, in Jos's highlights, he took some really heavy shots from Cavan.
Yeah.
I mean, and just walked right through him.
Yep. Yeah, I think hopefully Clarence, worked on something for this one.
Hopefully he saw something and it'll stretch the fight out past the second round. But in the end, You know, I think Jos is going to take him out first round. I would probably say TKO strikes.
Yeah, I would agree too, Cheech. I don't see Clarence winning this one. Maybe.
I mean, for one thing, you know, the rumor has it is Dana White's going to be there. So, you know, Jos is going to want to finish this quick to show a very impressive win.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if he puts him out quick, I'm pretty sure that'll raise him.
I'm pretty sure Jos wants a new boss. So,
so you guys can get out there to Hinckley, catch these fights. We'll all be watching where we're going to be at.
Yeah, I believe it's on Access TV, if I recall right.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to get out there this time, but we will be trying to get out to the next one come February 20th.
Yep. February 20th, what casino is that up there? It's in Belcourt.
Yeah. Belcourt.
We'll have another show on that one, of course, doing some of the matchups.
Yeah. Showing the fight card and who's going to be fighting, going over some of the fighters. But from all of us, remember, gloves up.
And fight on.
Fight on.